Warm greetings, dear friends, fellow patriots, Americans, and freedom fighters, freedom lovers around the world. Welcome. This presentation is going to bring forward a list of resources that we all need and can benefit greatly from in order to survive, to fight, and to thrive in this new world that's being thrust upon us. I think we can all agree that this world is changing rapidly, that there is a direct frontal assault on our liberties, on our freedoms, on our economic freedom to pursue prosperity. And really, we're looking right into the face of the ultimate battle for freedom. It's what it comes down to. The world is on a precipice. And if we don't win this battle, if we don't stand up now and fight like hell to protect our lives, our livelihood, and our freedoms, we're going to lose it. And this world is going to descend into despair and tyranny like we have never imagined before. Okay? That should not be news to you. That should not sound extreme to you if you are at all informed. All right, so this is the topic of our discussion today, and I'm going to try and get through it fairly quickly for you. Okay, so let's move on. We're talking about Strategy 2020. We need a strategy to win the battle for freedom. All right, and just as a commanding general needs a strategy when he wants to take the hill from the enemy, let's think in terms of 1700s General Lee versus Ulysses S. Grant, all right, in the battle for Gettysburg. All right, in order to take that hill, the commanding general has to coordinate various units. He's got his infantry, various waves and units of infantry strategically positioned in strategic locations and to come in waves, anticipating high casualties. Then, behind the infantry, he's got the artillery units. The artillery has its own specialized function and purpose with specialists who are trained in that given area. All right? After you've got the artillery, you've got the Corps of Engineers. The Corps of Engineers is going to help your army get across the rivers, get through the thickets, get through the mud bogs, get over the walls, all right, to deal with all of the obstacles. So the Corps of Engineers has its own specialized training and units that fit into that overall strategy, okay? Then the general has to coordinate the supply lines, the medical staff, equipment, supporting all of that. He's got to feed his army. That's a whole different set of responsibilities, okay? So you see that to achieve victory in taking the hill, it really requires a coordinated effort from a number of different specialists, each in their own area. And that's exactly what we're talking about here with Strategy 2020. If we're going to take to the battlefield, we need to have these specialized units at our ready and in a position to support us if we're going to achieve ultimate victory, okay? So let's look at some of those specialized units. We're dealing with the Lighthouse Law Club, which provides specialized support and assistance to help us defend our God-given rights. If you don't protect your rights, you don't have any. If you can't defend your rights, you don't have any. You need to know where to draw the line. You need to know a good defense, and you need to know how to go on offense, because sometimes the best defense is a good offense. You need to know these things if you're going to protect and preserve your rights. Most people are ignorant. They don't understand anything to the law, and they allow the tyrants to do whatever they want just because they're ignorant. They don't know any better or where to draw the line. All right, so this is critical intelligence that we have to have in this battle. All right, Monaco Management Group, high-level finance. This comes along later in the strategy once we've built up some assets and some resources and have achieved to garner some spoils from the enemy. All right, we need to put that to productive use. Monaco Management Group helps us with that, looking down the road. Karatbars, gold, learning how to accumulate and acquire gold, oftentimes using other people's money. Gold is wealth, gold is money, gold is real money. We'll talk about that here in just a minute. Cryptocurrencies, Bitcoin, for example, Monero, many others are an irreplaceable element in the financial landscape right now. This is a tool that you must have with the fiat currencies collapsing, economies on the precipice, ready to roll over and collapse on their own. This is an alternative to the traditional banking system, which is collapsing. Okay? And then ultimately, none of this means anything if we're not properly equipped to take to the battlefield with the proper spiritual preparation and tools and weapons. Because ultimately, this is a spiritual battle that we're fighting. And this is where we get the true power to bring everything else together. All right? So these are some of the units that we have at our disposal that will be brought forth onto the battlefield to help support us in our effort. And the gateway to all of this is the Community Support Network. All right? Just as the name indicates, this is a very simple but highly powerful program geared to support many aspects of the community. Many different people, causes, functions, organizations within the community. All right? They're many and various. And so you'll see how valuable that this program can be in support of the entire community. Small business owners, community organizations, spiritual or religious organizations, churches, humanitarian efforts, and the list goes on. Okay? The Community Support Network is essential, and it operates very simply as a gifting program. One time $25 out of pocket goes to someone in the community when you join. When you make one referral, you've got your money back, and there's no risk. Absolutely no risk. And from there, it operates using the concept of leverage and adopting the most successful business model in the history of small business, which is network marketing or viral marketing. All right? We work with a simple 3x10 forced matrix. 3 referrals. Get 3, which is 9. Who get 3, which is 27 on the 3rd level. 81 on the 4th level. 243 on the 5th level. And it continues. And as each of these levels steps up into the program, you've got more donations coming into you, and each level brings you an increasing larger amount in the donations. All right? We have videos that go into the details on that. We're not going to do that now. But it's a very simple program, and it's designed to help us go viral. We need this information to go viral with the power of duplication and multiplication of our efforts. You'll see how important that is here in just a minute. All right? So when you join Community Support Network, you will be invited to join one of several communities that we've put together. Each community has a special focus on a certain topic and subject matter. And this will give you just a little bit of an idea, some of the different communities that we have. Strategy 2020, the Crypto Corner, CSN itself, the Lighthouse Law Club, professional trading for passive cash flow, gold is money, gold is wealth, success training and business coaching, the art of financial privacy, spiritual warfare. Each one of these is an independent, standalone community which will give you the ability to interact with other members, ask questions, have discussions, access media, training, and all kinds of cutting-edge, current information on this subject matter. Let's take a little bit deeper look into each one of these communities. I talked about Strategy 2020, looking from an aerial view, the strategic plan, how the pieces fit together. All right, this community is really a separate web page altogether. You can look at it like an alternative to Facebook. Okay, so this community you'd be able to join and really dig down into the nuts and bolts of Strategy 2020 to see how all the pieces fit together. Okay. Next, we have the Community Support Network community. Everything related to how this works. Questions, answers, tips, techniques, strategies. All right? Rules, how the thing operates, how the system functions, technical questions and issues. Everything related to CSN will be found in this community, which you'll be able to join and learn all about it, network and interact with other members, and so on. Okay? Then, gold is money, gold is wealth. In this community, we will have all kinds of information on the different ways of accumulating gold, the different forms of gold. Could it be stored? Could it be delivered? Could it be put into an exchange? Could it be monetized with a cryptocurrency and you could send gold via a gold-backed cryptocurrency? Could you have gold on a debit card and spend your gold just like you would a Visa card for your purchases, everyday purchases? Could you take your gold out in fiat currency of an ATM machine? These are all things that we are currently able to do with gold, and the objective is to convert as much fiat currency, which is depreciating in value, it's falling through the floor, and replacing that fiat currency with gold, and learning how to use gold as money and build wealth in the process. It's very exciting. Very exciting possibilities are coming to the fore with new technologies, and it's those new technologies that are really exciting once you start to learn about it and see the practical impact. All right? Now, a lot of people, I understand, don't have any experience or expertise in marketing, in promoting, in high finance, in managing a portfolio, or really getting involved in any of these things. All right? Don't worry. If that's you, we've got a completely separate community to provide you with business coaching, success training, how-to information, step by step. And it's some of the most simple, common sense stuff you could even imagine. Okay? These are things anybody can do. You just have to be willing to learn. So all the training you need is right here in the Success Training community. Crypto Corner. Cryptocurrencies, as I mentioned, is an absolute must. The traditional banking industry is falling by the wayside. It's only a matter of time before we start to see major banks collapse. They're already in a liquidity crisis. They've been in a liquidity crisis since January of this year, and it's only getting worse. Once the derivatives, the mountain of derivatives start to fail, it's going to have a cascading effect, and the entire banking industry is going to be in very serious trouble. So Crypto Corner is a very important element in our overall strategy, and in this community you will be able to learn everything you need to know on how to use cryptocurrency effectively, efficiently, and profitably, including the latest tools, techniques, hardware, software, exchanges, and the list goes on. It seems as though every day there's a new application coming out, new technology, and it's really an exciting field to be a part of. As a member of the Community Support Network, you'll have access to all the latest information on cryptocurrencies and how to use it and how to benefit. Lots of information, highly valuable. We talked about legal self-defense. If you can't defend your rights, you don't have any. And the way things are going with the enforcement of these so-called mandates on wearing face masks and social distancing, and now the contact tracers, these are direct affronts to your civil rights, to your God-given rights, your natural rights. Okay, you have a right to privacy. No one can force these things on you. This is illegal, it's unlawful, it's tyrannical, and I don't care what country you live in, you have a basis in law that protects those rights. So this is what you have to understand, how to defend those rights, and this is where the Lighthouse Law Club comes in. All right, this information is invaluable. We are getting successes, we've been getting successes for years, where people who implement the right strategies with a little bit of knowledge can run circles around professionally trained attorneys, whether that be in the courtroom or in administrative procedures, collection efforts, taxation efforts, just go right on down the line. The fact that you have access to the Lighthouse Law Club, which is a $1,950 membership, let's say $2,000, that you can actually access this for free by only participating in CSN and getting a couple referrals who have a couple each. That's unheard of. Highly valuable. If this were the only benefit to CSN and Strategy 2020, this would be more than enough right here in this alone. All right? So that's a community. Then we get into professional trading, talking about generating passive cash flow. The traders that we have right now, professional traders, have averaged per month for the first 6 months of 2020. I'm going to ask you to sit down because you're probably going to fall over when I tell you. They've been averaging 43% monthly gain. That's per month, 43%. And we have the detailed trading reports to back it up. Now, we're not going to expect that in the future. Our past performance is no guarantee of future results. You've heard that 100 times, and it's true. But the track record is very good. Passive cash flow is the objective. Double-digit returns, even if it's as low as 10% on a monthly basis, when you start compounding that over any period of time, you can achieve some absolutely amazing results. Passive cash flow is the key here. In this community, you're going to learn all about the ins and the outs of benefiting and how to profit from having your own set of professional traders working for you. All right? Very interesting. Now, as you build wealth, accumulate gold, your trading account is growing at a nice clip. That doesn't mean a whole lot if you can't keep it private. All right? Again, without privacy, there is no security. And these days, privacy is almost a thing of the past if you deal with the institutionalized status quo systems of the world. They don't want you to have privacy. The key word today is transparency. Oh, we got to be transparent. Oh, if you're not doing anything wrong, you got nothing to hide. That's politically correct bullcrap. You give up your privacy, kiss your security goodbye. It's that simple. This community will deal with the ins and the outs of achieving financial privacy, how to maintain that at least to the maximum extent possible in this world, and thus help ensure your security for the future. Now, where are you going to find this kind of information? That's a good question. All right? And last but not least, spiritual warfare. This is what we're really dealing with ultimately. And if we're not well equipped in this arena, everything else really doesn't pile up to a hill of beans. All right, so this is where the World Mission Church and Ecclesiastical Society comes into play. This community will help gird the loins of our members with the weapons and the armor necessary to take the battlefield and win against all odds, as David did here with Goliath. Powerful, powerful stuff. This is the source of power that we have. You're not going to help yourself a whole lot. You're not going to avoid what's coming if you rely on your own cleverness, on your own preparedness, on your own level of knowledge and awareness. If you're relying only on yourself, I hate to say it, but you're probably going to be disappointed in the results. All right? If we can't put on the armor of the heavenly hosts of God himself, then we're going to be in for some rough times. Let's put it that way. So this is an absolute essential ingredient. All right, so with all of this, where do you find this kind of information? I think you know the answer. You don't. Much of this information, and we have only just not even scratched the surface, much of this information you simply cannot get at any price. But if you were to find some of it in bits and pieces here and there, you'd be spending tens of thousands of dollars to boil it all down into the useful, practical, strategic applications that you're going to have by being able to participate in these communities. And what's the ticket to get in? $25. Community Support Network. Honestly, I'm a little embarrassed to even say that because the value is so great, it's really an insult to make it available in that fashion, speaking purely in commercial terms. However, we are in a time of crisis. People need this information. We've structured this so that anybody and everybody can access it, can benefit from it, and we need it to go viral. In order to have an effect on the society around us, we need tens of thousands of people learning what there is to learn, using the tools that are available to reinforce their own position in terms of knowledge, economics, finances, spiritual weapons. These are things that are needed right now. And we need to come together, pull together, to make a stand to preserve our futures, if it's going to happen at all. This is our last chance. So bear that in mind, all right? So really, the only intelligent decision to make here, I think, is quite obvious, isn't it? I'm not going to spell out the obvious. You need to make that decision for yourself, you know? Is that worth $25 joining the Community Support Network? That's your decision to make. If you have a sponsor, someone who invited you, get with them. They'll help get you started and get you set up. If you do not have a sponsor or have been invited by someone in particular, just go to csn.world, click the sign up button, and a sponsor will be assigned to you, and we will welcome you to the team. We'll get you plugged into these communities as soon as possible, which we expect will be in full operation. They're currently in development as this video is being recorded. We fully expect that by August 15th they will be fully operational, or at least to a large degree. So we look forward to welcoming you. Take care, and for now, God bless. Thanks for your attention.